See it? Look.
Yeah. Straight up tube.
Ever seen a rocket get taken out by a UFO? Y'all saw that? That's why they tell you they don't exist.
These actual entities.
Yeah.
Do we know, or we have an understanding of how many of them we're talking about and the variety of them?
Well, yeah, there is a variety, and we have a certain number of different things. But the total numbers of what's interacting with us on Earth, I mean, nobody knows that. And I mean,
but there's an understanding of some that they do believe are interacting with us, and there's a variety in terms of there's variables.
Yeah, I talked to people who are familiar with the biological analysis and everything. So we have some idea, not a complete picture, because it's you're looking at it, it's well, I don't even understand the physiology at all. It's
Air Force Base. These cigar shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake about a 3.5 to 4. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans.
And understood that you are not what you are. You have been deficient. Remember, I tell you that your melanin right now is not really glowing at what it's supposed to be. Why? Because if you ever look at dirt brown just like that. But what grow from dirt? The green, the blues, the clouds, the flowers. Well, that's what's wrong with you right now. You don't have the green hue that grows from the brown earth. And your face and everything, your body, you have been deprived, you have been decommissioned from your true nature. And you do not, that's why the animals don't want to talk with you anymore. You vibrate an alien energy.
So just like the plants, when they're alive, they're green, and when they're dying, they turn brown.
Look at you. You're seeing it. You're seeing it now, right?
The government would disclose that eventually. But the fact that these beings had DNA that was found in the human genome, I think that is the actual secret of Roswell. I think that is a core secret of why the government will not talk about Roswell. All humans are, in fact, alien DNA enhanced, but others were more enhanced than most humans, and that these more enhanced humans were of particular interest to CIA.
Elijah, you're one of us.
Welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Look, man, y'all know when I got this Hogwarts hoodie on, I'd be channeling some shit, but look, this video right here is gonna hit hard. Just make sure that y'all don't skip anything, because you will be lost in the sauce. But make sure you're paying attention and you're doing your own research. Don't believe nothing that you see on these videos, and always go out here and do your own research, man. If you're going through a tough time out here in this world, just know we're going through this thing called life together. We're in it by ourselves. This channel is here for the positive thinkers, the like-minded thinkers that just stimulate thoughts, and we have dope conversations that you just don't normally have with the people around you. So you always welcome to my channel. Share these videos with your friends and families, and let's have a good time. Positive vibes only. Let's get it.
you are being lied to. And if you feel that something very intense and history-changing is about to happen, don't ignore it. I mean, just ask yourself, just on the merits of the facts. You've got two people running for president. One of them is literally senile, I'm not attacking the guy, but that's true. Maybe not fully aware that he's president. Opposing him is a man who has been indicted 4 times and is facing life in prison. And every time he gets indicted and every time they tack years on to the sentence, he becomes more popular and now he's winning. But it tells you a couple of things. One, the side that's indicting him doesn't want him to be president so badly that they are willing to indict him on what are transparently ridiculous charges. And 2, the public is not only not buying it, it is incentivizing them to support him. Indict him again, arrest him again, march him out to the gallows, he'll become king. So it's literally counterproductive. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the people currently in charge have no idea how the country works, what the country wants, and they don't care. So how does that resolve itself? The big lie that we tell ourselves and that I have told many times is that this is political. This is not political. What we're watching is not political. This is not politics. And everyone deserves to live in a country governed by politics, not force. You say you hate politics, what's the option? Force. You only get 2 options, and we're past the political stage. Nothing that is happening now can be explained through conventional political terms, period. What's happening is bad behavior for its own sake. There is no upside to the great trends of our age. There's no upside to pushing transgenderism on kids, period. None. There's no upside. So why are they doing that? Is it really a conspiracy from gender clinics? I mean, maybe to some extent, but it's bigger than that. What you're seeing is evil done for its own sake. Hurting people done for the sake of hurting people. That's exactly what you're seeing.
The scariest video I've ever made. It's not just for New York City, it's for the entire state of New York. We are all gonna have to run and get the fuck out of here. Let me explain to what happened over the weekend. Rule 213. Anybody remember what Rule 213 was supposed to be? Or what it is now? Over a year ago, Governor Hochul tried to have something come in place called Rule 213, where the state can come remove you from your home and put you into quarantine. And I'm not talking about C-19. I'm talking about any disease, including Lyme disease, toxic shock syndrome, things that aren't even contagious, okay? This happened last March. It was approved to go through until a bunch of lawyers sued them for it. And the judge appealed it. They said, this is not gonna go through. No thanks, goodbye. Until this past September, when Governor Hochul appealed that decision. He followed up with the New York State Supreme Court Appellate Division, 4th Judicial Department. Both sides gave their argument. Hochul's lawyers saying, oh, it's not going to be as bad as you think, while the other lawyers saying what the nightmare will be if this goes through. Number 1, there's no age restriction. It could be your newborn baby, it could be your grandparents, it could be you who just gave birth. There are no restrictions to removing the person that needs to come out and go in quarantine. Could be in the middle of the night, middle of the day, while you're at work. Doesn't matter. They take you, you have no right. There is no due process. There are no court hearings. There is also no time duration limit. You are there until they tell you you can leave. You are forced also to take whatever medicine that they give you, whatever vaccine that they decide is good for you. On that list also includes experimental drugs. They are allowed to experiment with your body to see if something will work. And I'm not making this shit up. This is all listed.
Like they ain't already been doing that though. Like, come on now.
On the appeal, the worst part is you are not allowed to take a test to prove that you are not even sick. They don't care about test results. If they deem you to be a problem, they just take you out and put you into a quarantine. If you look up on Google, some websites will say, no, it's not a quarantine camp, it's something else. Well, really, what the fuck would you call it? They announced over this weekend, the appeals court finally got back with the decision after months later, and they put it through. Rule 213 is now in place for the entire state of New York. Attorney Bobby Ann Cox is saying there is only one more place they can appeal this. Is the New York State Court of Appeal. That's our last chance. Frankly, I don't know how any judge could have voted that this rule is okay. Maybe they don't think it will happen to them or to their family members or to their friends, but there is no way that this is constitutional by any means.
And if something happens to me, it's because I'm speaking truth. So God forbid something happens to me or my family or some shit, is because the niggas is after me because I'm speaking the truth. And here's the truth, right? In New York, there is a $120 million budget cut. There's a $120 million budget cut in New York that is going to affect schools, public libraries, and the police department. Y'all know I don't give a fuck about the cops, but like it is what it is. There's gonna be an $120 million budget cut with schools, with libraries, and the cops and the police department, and a $5 million budget cut in sanitation. Of a budget cut in sanitation, bitch, we're gonna be drowning with rats. We're going to be drowning in fucking rats. So we are going to be having a budget cut on these shits. Mind you, and this is why I said this is what I'm telling y'all, I'm not this year. Don't fucking ask me. I don't give a fuck the resume that they send. I don't give a fuck. I'm not endorsing no fucking presidents no more. Cause how is there a $100 million budget cut in New York City for fucking schools, library, police safety, and sanitation? Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about like, yeah, we could fund 2 wars. We could fund 2 wars. Motherfuckers talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like we're the greatest nation. No, the fuck we're not. We're going through some shit right now. Like say it. We really going through. We really are fucked right now. And if something happens to me, it's because I'm speaking the truth. If something happens to me or my fucking family, it's because I'm speaking the truth. Hold on, bitch. Don't move the camera because I'm not thing. Like, these leaders, they don't have our best interests. They don't have our best interests. I'm telling you, they just don't have the fucking best interests. I'm always going to speak for the people. And if something...
And that's one thing that we can count on. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, we done seen a lot of weird stuff with Cardi B on these videos and stuff in the past. But one thing I can say about her, the real her, is that she was always, that's what made people attracted to her. It's not her music, none of that stuff. It's just the pure fact that she was being her. And we can see through the bullshit that she was one of the few people that we've seen on TV, whatever you want to call it, that was being themselves, and they could be themselves. And it was refreshing, you know what I'm saying? So with this part right here, I look, man, we've all been seeing it. That's something that we can agree on, man. Like, how can we fund all these wars, but then all our shit is in shambles here? You know, it's a lot more going on than what the population know, and that's why we do these videos. Smash that like button.
Oh, I didn't realize you were a member.
So long, suckers.
Same old space, huh, Dad?
Yep, but they gave me these rollerblades so I can glide to the front door. Whoa, whoa. Sweet. Jealous?
Well, no, we've got the same chair.
You're jealous.
Your membership pack.
What's it?
You put that sticker on your car so you won't get any tickets. And this other one keeps paramedics from stealing your wallet while we're working on you.
Oh, and don't bother calling 911 anymore. Here's the real number.
Think about it.
Hey, Mr. S, I didn't know you budgies. I want to live. No, you're too heavy. It's a glandular problem. Whoa! Orlac, Chud, mole people.
There is no escape.
Why is that jet flying so close to our house? At last, those planes are flying where they belong.
That's right. Over the homes of poor people.
Top secret CIA Weather Control Division, Dick speaking.
Diving pizza store!
Oh, it's you, Stan. What kind of favor?
control the weather.
Keep watching. Earthquake, zombies, sinkhole kid, you know, all of that stuff, you know, and I already let y'all know, like, government has zombie apocalypse like protocols and stuff like that too. So this is not false or anything. And then also, you know, the underground caves have been discovered, sinkholes have come up, and we've seen, you know, cave systems that connect to greater cave systems, and it just goes on and on. Come on now. Subconsciously, they've been telling us this for a long time.
On the telephone, and I was told to go to a certain address. I just got in the car and went there. And I'm going to tell you all something. I walked into what looked like a normal building, but when I got inside this building, I'd never seen anything like that inside, because all along the top of the building, on the upper rows, it seemed like invention after invention after invention after invention. And it went on and on and on. What was on that shelf were things like magnets that picked up gold coins, gasoline that was made from plants, green, which he called green gasoline, coils that I've never seen, almost like a Tesla coil, but much steeper angles, which were all resonant at a certain frequency. Paid very close attention to one thing. There was this chart, and it was basically laid out like this here. Had all these little lines like this on the chart, but it was huge. I started asking, what is this chart? He said, well, go over there and look. And so I went over there, and it showed where time started on our time scale. And then it went on and on and on, and it got up into somewhere in here, and 2001 was about here. I was in 84, I was back here somewhere, and there were little pictures underneath the chart. And I know that most people are going to find this hard to believe, but all along this chart it said who the presidents were, whether they were assassinated or not assassinated, what the year was going to bring as far as food for the world. And when I got up here, it said that the world was in a chaotic condition, basically, at 2000. And it showed war and war and war and war and more war. It also showed that it named the presidents by name. It showed Reagan, it showed Carter, it showed Reagan, it showed George Bush Sr., and after that it showed Clinton. It said the Clinton years right in here somewhere. I was back here. How they knew even who the presidents were was a mystery to me. And when I asked her that question, he says, we know. We know who's going to be the president. And right around in here, he said, it showed a little picture, and it showed two little towers. And it showed them on fire. But it showed war. It showed war from here on all the way to the end. And it said that time, it ended here for us. 2036 or 2034 or something. But it said it ended there, and it ended in disaster. There's nothing went on past that.
That research is still classified, y'all. And then on top of that, you know, we talked about the timelines that they already knew about, especially in the last video. In the video before that, we've been talking about these timelines, and he showed the same thing. They were trying to research and figure out how could they change what's going to happen, but they always came to the conclusion of it's inevitable. it's something that's going to happen. So y'all let me know in the comments down below what y'all think that is. Look at that. Great.
The entrance to the inner earth is at the poles. The inner earth is a real physical place with suns and rivers and oceans where real people are living. There was trade between the inner earth people and the people above. The trade agreement was violated. It was violated by the humans. It kicked off. The church shut down all the tunnels that were leading to the inner earth, and there's documentation that proves that.
Scientists, some, are sounding the alarm on a so-called solar superstorm that could, and this is important, underline the word could, eventually wipe out the internet for weeks or even months.
Literally every movie shows blackouts happening because of the sun. Literally every movie.
If it were to occur, it might take a decade for us to recover. Some of the destruction of communication infrastructure could bring about the end of the internet. They are hopeful that they can stop this.
Yes.
But this is a real possibility.
Yeah.
That we won't have internet.
It's very interesting how they're talking about the sun now, because at first it was China sending an EMP. It was all about China sending an EMP.
Right.
Do y'all remember this video last year? This guy is Peter Kalmus. He works with NASA and he tried to warn us about what's coming. And because of this, he was arrested.
I don't warn you guys for so many decades. Now we're heading towards a catastrophe. And you've been being ignored. The scientists of the world have been being ignored. And it's gotta stop. We're gonna lose everything.
20 minutes from now, they will start to commence with.
Staying from the planet is far, far too important to.
Peter Kalmus works exclusively on climate science with a team at NASA. He joined a coalition of more than 1,000 scientists called the Scientists' Rebellion, who organized dozens of actions worldwide.
I've been trying other ways to get through to the public for 16 years and none of them worked. I think it's worth the risk to our careers to try to wake up the public to what's happening on our planet. We're not lying, we're not exaggerating. This is so bad, everyone, that we're willing to take this.
I just find it very interesting of how this year they're talking about the sun causing this massive blackout, but last year anybody who was talking about the sun, they were shutting it down instantaneously. So let me know what y'all think. Leave your comments down below. Share this video for more. Like and follow. Let's get this ship, y'all. Peace in.
Hey, do y'all see the pattern though? You see when people was talking about the, you know, shots or whatever, they was shutting everybody down from the internet, right? Now when all now when everything comes out, see, they got as many people as possible. Now that everything comes out, you can like speak more freely about it now because there's being, you know, lawsuits and everything else like that now, you know, but it's just crazy. We got to pay more attention and we got to stick together, y'all. Real talk. Crazy.
In a lifetime so far. I mean, the people who took the footage believed it to be a UFO, but it's not a UFO. And you can see the wings on it. It is the flying dragon mentioned in Revelations, you know, that's coming, that's gonna hurl meteorites, brimstones to the earth. That's what it is. You see the planet very clearly in the middle, and it is coming, you know, it's making its way around, and like I said, we're gonna get hit by this debris tail. And then right here is you're starting to see in the middle of it where the light is, when the Nibiru is, you're gonna see the cross, you know, and that's the sign of the coming of Christ. That's the sign right there, you know, and you'll see the cross right there. And like I said, this is the most amazing footage ever that I ever seen of Nibiru. Rapture News.
where an unknown flying object was seen hovering high above the Byrd.
Could this explain why we're seeing all of this stuff in the sky? This next segment is going to show the stuff in the sky.
International Airport in Imphal. Now, 2 Indigo flights coming from Kolkata and Delhi were diverted. Now, flight operations have resumed. Now, this is as per the inputs that we're getting from the ground. And also what we are learning is that the Indian Air Force has activated the air defense systems nearby after the reports came in of this unidentified flying object above the international airport in Imphal. That's what we are learning. This unidentified flying object has now disappeared as per the reports, but what we are learning is that it was seen hovering above the international airport in Imphal, and 2 flights, one coming in from Kolkata, one from Delhi, were diverted, and then the flight operations have now resumed. That's the latest that we're getting from Ground Zero. I'm joined by my colleague Kamalka Sengupta, who's getting us this piece of breaking news. Kamalka, give us the details.
Yeah, as you also pointed out, that around 2:30 p.m., an unknown flying object was seen hovering high above this base Secretariat International Airport, Imphal. Now, after that, this flight operations were suspended for near about 1 hour, and then it has resumed. But the big question is that there has been inquiry has been ordered to look into the matter, that what was it actually. Have anybody taken any pictures or anything? All those things are now taken into consideration. Investigation, inquiry, this will take place, because Manipur anyway is now in a conflict situation. Things are better now. But what actually is this? Whose hand is there behind this? All these things are big questions that are there. So definitely what we are getting is that the administration and the government, they are taking very note of this situation, and they have taken note of this entire thing, and they're trying to find out that what actually this was.
Right. Thank you, Kamalka, for getting us the latest from Imphal. We'll continue to track all the developments which are coming in as the investigation is underway to figure out what this object in fact was that was above the international airport in Imphal, which led to the suspension of the flight operations. Remember, 2 flights, one from Kolkata, one for Delhi, were diverted, as well as it led the Indian Air Force to activate its air defense systems.
Shit, they ain't covering here, right?
Oh my God, come here. We're not leaving. That is not a plane. It's not a plane at all.
Definitely not no
plane. It looks like Bonnie, dude.
Told you. Bonnie. What's up, Bonnie? Stuff that Jonathan Castro did a lot. Wow. Snake-like pigs.
See it? Look.
Yeah. Straight up to cigar shape.
It's going that way.
What are we flying up right
I knew that wasn't a plane. I was like, that shit is going too slow to be a plane. All right, here I should get it. Okay.
The horizontal direction.
You gonna make us dizzy as hell in these goddamn trees. Fix yourself.
That limb is going behind it. Okay, there it goes. Got it. Thank the God.
Look at that.
See, look. Whoa!
Did you get the bird passing by?
No.
Yeah. Can see it in your viewfinder, but where is it here?
It's going right. It's going right, and I want to say it's I can't tell where it's above, dude. Oh, this is so cool.
A lot of people be asking for close-ups and, oh, this is blurry. This is a really, really good video of that, right? Do y'all agree in the comments down below? Let me know. Like, looks good to me.
Oh.
That's it now.
You got it? Okay.
Yep. Got the board.
It looked like it's cloaked, right? Like it's supposed to be anyway.
You guys ever seen a rocket get taken out by a UFO? Y'all saw that? That's why they tell you they don't exist. Right? They tell you they don't exist. If y'all know about this for real, UFOs are the reason why we are still alive. You know what I'm saying? Cause
they preventing us from blowing this muff up. Well, them.
Cause they have infiltrated a bunch of the government's plans in order to, you know. Right. But check this out. This is very interesting right here. Y'all saw that?
Crazy.
What?
Crazy.
What? Like, share, and follow for more videos like this. And keep up with me on my other platforms where I go deeper on these topics on an esoteric level. Let's get this shift.
Hey, y'all go follow bro, man. He's definitely dope.
Retrocedemos brevemente en el.
And look, this is the same one that I recorded when I was like on the border of like Mexico and Texas area. Like, this is crazy.
Tiempo para trasladarnos a uno de los avistamientos más alucinantes del año 2019, precisamente sobre la capital de Cuba.
Mira, esto es como un extraterrestre, algo así.
En las imágenes estamos presenciando de un objeto en forma de boomerang, que se mantiene levitando a baja altura sobre una localidad de La Habana, la tarde del pasado 8 de julio del año 2019. En la parte inferior del objeto, se observa una especie de energía antigravitacional, que realiza rotaciones bajo su propio eje, mientras se encuentra suspendido sobre la localidad de Cerro en La Habana, ante la mirada de varios testigos.
Mira, esto es como un extraterrestre, algo así.
Según el portal Código Oculto, las imágenes fueron viralizadas por el periodista cubano Juan Manuel Cao, a través de un residente anónimo de la comunidad Cerro de La Habana, quien presenció del acontecimiento, junto a otros testigos.
Parece una broma y no lo es. La imagen de un objeto volador no identificado más realista que yo he visto, que más me ha asombrado.
Y'all said y'all wanted to see some good quality. Me too. Now we see it. Now what y'all gonna say? Y'all gonna say? Like, it looked just like the one that I captured. That's crazy. Like, that was in Cuba. Now look at them shooting that one. Trying to shoot it down.
UFO in Iran.
Just like what the Battle of Los Angeles, when they was quote unquote shooting, and it was in news articles, y'all. Take that in consideration. It was in news articles back in the day. They was shooting at it in LA, the Battle of LA. That's where the movies came from. But they couldn't shoot it down. It's crazy.
And they're still shiny.
No, I see one. Yeah. That ain't a bird, man.
No, it's not a bird.
Birds are not shiny. Somebody planted drones like that.
Did you see how one was landing? They landed.
Yeah, now they're way down. Let's get the gun, chase.
He said, let's get the gun. That's not gonna work.
Papa's.
Y'all ain't got no churches.
Dude, look at that shit.
I don't know what the fuck that is, man. I see what it is, man.
What is it?
It looks like it get close up.
Have you had it up to here with grainy bullshit UFO videos shot on some guy's cracked HTC One? If so, because I'm such a giver, I have a present for you. 23 years ago today, a Sussex police air support helicopter reported a bizarre hurtling canister-looking thing, tic-tac, object above the city of Brighton. The police chopper followed the object and ended up filming what I believe to be the first official film of a legit tic-tac UFO. They first captured it on infrared, which is here, amazing, and I've restored it for you. Then, and this is important, they filmed it on standard video. Confirmed gold standard tic-tac UFO event, and long before the era of CGI. This was in 2000. So I upscaled the resolution of the video, adjusted the frame rate, codec, aspect ratio, and the bit rate, and I sprinkled holy water on it, and it all helped a bit. But holy shit, this is a smoking gun. Check out my new Discord, by the way, for Probe the Deep. Also, leave any leads or theories in the comments, and enjoy this one.
When it comes to these, I want to bring it back to these actual entities.
Yeah.
Do we know, or would you have an understanding of how many of them we're talking about? And the variety of them?
Well, yeah, there is a variety, and we have a certain number of different things. But the total numbers of what's interacting with us on Earth, I mean, nobody knows that. And I mean,
but there's an understanding of some that they do believe are interacting with us, and there's a variety in terms of there's variables.
Yeah, I talked to people who are familiar with the biological analysis and everything, so we have some idea, not a complete picture, because it's you're looking at it, it's well, I don't even understand the physiology at all. It's what the heck? It's way different, right? So we have at least
a description of this physiology.
Yeah, no, I was in the room when gotta be careful. I don't want to. I was in Washington, D.C. with a very number of senior people that work for members of Congress, put it that way, when I was still in government. And I brought the people who worked on that stuff to the Hill. I mean, this is why the members were so confident to put out the Schumer Amendment and stuff. And I was like, please explain. And they went into all those details and stuff. And I remember, some of the professional staff members were like, whoa, like they were in G-lock, right? Because I mean, a total world bubble got burst right there for a lot of people. And so we have some idea. It's not a complete picture. I mean, it's just but you're not even bringing in the right people. I think about my friend and colleague, Dr. Gary Nolan, which I started the Soul Foundation nonprofit with. I mean, he's Nobel level biologist, virologist. He's the guy that you would want on it, but he's not on it. So I think we can make a lot of progress in our understanding once again if this is more broadly studied in an open environment.
For anyone looking to expand their consciousness, I highly recommend this movie/documentary. All right. It's called Blacks and UFOs. All right, this was on Tubi. I caught this on Tubi. It's a phenomenal watch. I highly recommend getting your pen and pad ready. It's very informative, a lot of information. The individuals in this documentary/movie had direct contact with extraterrestrial biological entities. They actually encountered a Nordic race referred to as the Palladians. They stated that these individuals kind of glided across the floor. They didn't walk like us. They kind of slid across the floor, if you may. That's pretty much how they depicted their way of transportation. They kind of levitated above the floor and kind of just floated, in a sense. These Nordic beings are from the Pleiades star system, and they come from a planet referred to as Aldebaran. This woman right here is named Lady Athena, okay? She's the individual that stated that she had direct contact with the faction, an extraterrestrial faction, a Nordic group referred to as Ashtar Command. Goes by the name, once again, of Athena Sharan. Okay, you can look her up. You can dive down a rabbit hole and check out some of the books. She came out with several publications in reference to these Nordic extraterrestrial beings. This documentary also showed how we have the ability of channeling these entities. Okay, they were doing chants. They would get together in a park. They would form a circle. They would actually put their crystals in the center, and they would actually chant simultaneously. And lo and behold, a UFO would appear. All right, and they confirmed that they had direct connection with the Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki does have the ability of actually communicating through our vessels. They can channel through us. That's why it's important to decalcify your pineal gland and to make sure that your cosmic gateway is clear, so you have the ability of reaping the benefits of cosmic knowledge, all right, and access of the Akashic records, and also channeling these entities, all right. Believe it or not, these entities are always watching. They have the ability of actually cloaking their ships that make them blend in directly with the clouds. A lot of times you can look in the sky and you really want to pay attention to cloud formations. Sometimes it can be a UFO sitting up there. All the prophecies you hear about in the Bible where these beings were actually going into transcendental states of consciousness and prophesying information, they were actually channeling extraterrestrials. Extraterrestrials were using their avatar to actually explain future events through these so-called prophets. This is why I tell you, get your lion's mane, okay, to regenerate damaged brain cells and decalcify your pineal gland. Also get your blue lotus and mugwort. I do have them both available on Holistic Remedies for Ascension, link in bio. Newsflash to all the Bible thumpers. Angels are aliens, okay, or extraterrestrials. Extraterrestrial mean extra terra, okay, meaning earth or land. Yeah. Astro meaning coming from space or coming from out of this world. So extraterrestrial biological entities is when it's an entity that's alive, all right? So angels, if they're not from here, or demons, or any entity that's depicted in the Bible that actually came into this atmosphere would be actually an extraterrestrial in a sense. So all the angels that you talk, most people argue over semantics. And the angels that you're talking about and worshiping are actually extraterrestrials, all right? It's a coincidence that angels have wings and they also depict the Anunnaki with wings as well. It's not a coincidence. And like I stated, I actually communicated with these beings firsthand, all right? These entities do exist. We are in an age of awakening and all will be revealed, okay? The age of believing is over, all right? We are in an age of knowing. Peace and love to everyone.
Yeah, you got to think, man. A lot of people be arguing over the dumbest shit. Oh, I'm spiritual, or I'm Christian, or I'm this, I'm that. Look. At this point in my life, and let me know if this resonates with y'all, everything that they argue about is beneath me. I'm beyond that. I'm past that. See, a lot of people want to preach certain things. Oh, you got to raise your vibrations. You got to be this. But you catch yourself fighting and arguing with people over low vibrational things, you know, things that keep you away from your spiritual awakening, your whatever awakening you want to call it. You know, you are in charge of you. Look, do your own thing. But you can't, we can't keep going on like this, fighting against each other. We're talking about the same things, just in a different way. You know, some people want to sit here and argue about you, and they got new religions every day. They just make these things up. And they got believers that go blow stuff up for that. The religion just came out yesterday. You know, I don't want to call them out, but it is what it is. Y'all niggas is crazy. I ain't gonna hold you, but y'all think that we crazy because we see shit in the sky and our ancestors pass down information, and we're able to channel things and, you know, do certain things that I'm not gonna speak about on the internet. But you're capable of more than what you think. But it's up to you to, you know, wake yourself up, I guess. You know, it is what it is. And you got to think what Freddy Krueger was. He would kill you. He would kill the people that would sleep. Think about it.
R-shaped ship appeared over the Air Force Base. These cigar shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5". These tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force Base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in.
Think about this, yo. You gotta think, why are they targeting us from these other countries? Like Israel said that the African Americans are the problem. First of all, like I gotta clarify, we're not from Africa. We can't be deported back to Africa. We're from here. We got a different phenotype. They can clearly, I've been around the world. You can clearly look at us and tell the difference. Our phenotypes is way different. Let's stop the cap. You know, we love everybody, but let's speak the truth. But let's keep going though. Watch this. Check this out though. And not to say that we're better than anybody. I mean, y'all got some dope shit about y'all too. Everybody do. Y'all discover that. You know, that's what we're here to do. We're gonna check out everything. See the Pleiadians.
Whoa. Hang on. Elijah, you're one of us.
You get what they saying with that? Look, you see the big ass weapon, you see the advanced technology, and you see who he is. That's his ancestor. Came back to get the weapon that doesn't belong there. It's not his time yet to go with them. And you just gotta think, they've been telling us in these movies for a very long time exactly what it is. You know, there's many different races of species of different creatures and aliens all around this planet and solar system, whatever you want to call it, realms, whatever you want to call it. I'm not here to argue with you niggas. Like, it is what it is. You feel me? But it's definitely interesting, right?
Now understand what I'm saying to you, because when Cameron was in the airport and a black man said, why you don't film people with black people in it? He said, I did. They're blue. The movie Avatar. He doesn't dig in Iceland or Greenland. He digs in Africa, he digs in India, he digs in South America. And everywhere he find black people buried. So you have to understand the war that destroyed this plane of existence, where the people that I showed you, the deep black people, who were spirit-bound people, whose melanin used to be what I call prismatic melanin. Prismatic meaning that his consciousness or your emotions used to change the color in the black and used to glow the color of your emotions. Red, green, blue, the chakra colors. And that's why you could see Senegalese today. If you go to Senegal, black, and they have some kind of blue over the top of their eyes. And the red or the green on the side of their faces. How is it that a man or woman so black they're green? Or so black they're blue? Are you understanding and understanding exactly that they are the remnants of the original people that were here? Now understand what I'm saying to you, because when Cameron was in the airport and a black man said, why you don't film people with black people in it? He said, I did. They're blue. The movie Avatar. Understand and understood that you are not what you are. You have been deficient. Remember I tell you that your melanin right now is not really glowing at what it's supposed to be. Why? Because if you ever look at dirt brown, just like that. But what grows from dirt? The green, the blues, the clouds, the flowers. Well, that's what's wrong with you right now. You don't have the green hue that grows from the brown earth. And your face and everything, your body, you have been deprived, you have been decommissioned from your true nature. And you do not, that's why the animals don't want to talk with you anymore. You vibrate an alien energy.
So just like the plants, when they're alive, they're green, and when they're dying, they turn brown?
Look at you. You're seeing it. You're seeing it now, right?
Yeah.
You go from what? Summer? To what?
Fall.
Aha.
Fall.
Now, what happened to the green in the fall? It turned brown.
Wow.
So what happened with the fall of man?
Damn.
You coming out of your prismatic melanin. You came out of the fact that you had a connection to your chakras, and those chakras were your power. That was your energy patterns that you used to dynamo. There's the dynamos that used to grow, that used to spin, and you used to create instantaneously. You used to turn waves into matter just by thinking it, just by imagining it. This entire plane was actually crystal. You were on a giant crystal, and the crystal was the harmonic interchange between you and your thoughts. Where did all the dirt come from? Where did all the earth come from? The earth came later, after you were convinced that your thinking and the creation that you were dealing with was not real. Somebody convinced you that that was only your illusion, that your ability to create instantaneously with your thoughts were nothing but an illusion.
Hey, that goes along with y'all. Have y'all seen the series Sandman? Sandman had a episode with the cats. The cats, you know what I'm saying, was trying to understand why they were living like that and what happened. And it was a story about, you know, basically about a belief system, collectively, a collective thought, you know, that made the humans a lot bigger than them now, because the cats used to rule, right? Just an example. And it is showed with the power of thoughts and, you know, having control of your thoughts and a community. We shape the universe. We shape our own universe. We are the manifestors. We are the power. We are a source. So, you know, you got to start believing in yourself. And what you see in today's that's happening to people, you're dealing with a lot of people that's insecure and don't believe in themselves. And you know what? I feel for everybody, because I get it. I see what's been happening to our people, and I'm just here to care for y'all and understand and try to, you know, just bring some thought in to it to get people thinking a little bit differently, so you could once again believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Tribe up.
If it was just a craft, I think the government would readily disclose that. And yes, there were outer space beings on the craft. I think the government would disclose that eventually. But the fact that these beings had DNA that was found in the human genome, I think that is the actual secret of Roswell. I think that is a core secret of why the government will not talk about Roswell. All humans are, in fact, alien DNA enhanced, but others were more enhanced than most humans, and that these more enhanced humans were of particular interest to CIA. Now, I didn't put it all together back then, but now I believe that this is part of the Roswell story that was never told, that whatever craft was recovered, and that whoever the occupants were in that craft, that when the scientists were able to sequence the human genome and then went back at CIA to look at the genome of any recovered alien beings, they were surprised to find that what the alien DNA looked like was also in humans. But this was the way I connected the dots, because I wanted to understand exactly what Roswell was all about. Why is it such a secret that a spacecraft crashed and there may have been occupants on board? Why is that such a military secret? Of course, you can say it was the Cold War, but the Cold War has been over since 1991, and still there's this secrecy over Roswell.
Think about it. That's why they try to show us that little, hey, what we call that little alien, the Cat Daddy, that the Mexicans show, like over there in Mexico. They trying to show them little ass aliens, the little trinkets that they made out of animal bones to us, man. Hey, AKA the Cat Daddy. We know shit wrong, bro. They don't want to come up off of that. Real talk. We know why though. It's crazy. They don't want you niggas building spaceships in your backyard.
Hey folks. Brace yourself for what I consider an extraordinary challenge for any human. A trail camera strategically placed by the police at a crime scene captures an imposing figure reminiscent of Bigfoot's stature. He effortlessly lifts a sizable tree trunk. This impressive feat involves elevating the 12-inch diameter, 25-foot-long log a jaw dropping 30 feet into the air, followed by a resounding slam. The display strength and power exceeds human strength, with the estimated weight of the massive log hitting an impressive 530 pounds. Could this trail camera have captured a genuine Bigfoot in action? Check it out.
Think about how heavy that is, y'all. And he's picking it up at the end. These things are hundreds, maybe thousands of pounds. Some of y'all ain't never been in the woods before. Y'all ain't never cut down, like, you know, cut down a tree or anything else like that, but it's heavy. They can smash you. People always want better footage, but when they get it, what y'all gonna do with it? How y'all feeling?
I don't know what's in that thing, but whatever's in it is going crazy.
Sound like a dinosaur in there.
That's wild right there.
No, it's just, energy shortage. You know when they run power to your house?
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered how come they always run a wire that drive it in the ground?
Yeah.
They might be letting you use the same power that your house sitting on.
Yeah.
You got video?
Yep.
This is what they don't want you doing.
Ooh. Yeah, that's tight. There you go.
I'm telling you, look, if you weren't consumed with like the stuff that they indoctrinated everybody with, you'll be inventing things. That's the dope shit, y'all. Let's become inventors again. I know I do. I can't disclose everything, but at the same time, you know, that's what they don't want you to do, because then you'll start discovering a lot more about what you're capable of and what you can do. And that's what this channel is for, to let y'all understand that, bro, like, you probably ain't supposed to be working that job. You're supposed to be building something, making something. You know, I'm not saying quit right away. I'm just saying go home, fuck being tired, work on what you want to work on and manifest that and make it real, you know? You see, he had electric cars and
Watch
everything.
this video with me because
He built.
unicorns were mentioned 9 times in the Bible. Let's play it.
This is a depiction of unicorn. This animal is mythical. It's fictional. It's make-believe. It's not real. There's none of these alive today, and no scientist has ever found a fossil of one, and yet unicorns are mentioned in the Bible 9 times in the books of Numbers, Deuteronomy, Job, Psalms, and Isaiah. And so because of this, people like to scoff at the Bible and say things like this.
So, now if you believe in God, you believe in unicorns, which is fantastic.
If we're going to use the Bible for science, we've got some tough things to explain. What are you going to do about unicorns? Are mentioned 8 times in the Bible. I want to tell you what, we have never found a fossil of a unicorn.
By the way, where are the unicorns that are referred to in the Bible? Where are those? Either in the fossil record or today. I'd like to see one of those. Another one of those interesting tests that continues to get failed.
Well, if you get an old 1828 Noah Webster's Dictionary, which is the very first edition dictionary that Webster came out with about 200 years ago, and if you look up the word unicorn, it says that unicorn is an animal with one horn, the monoceros. This name is often applied to the rhinoceros. Notice how this definition says absolutely nothing about a horse. It says nothing about a horse-like animal or a mythical animal or a fictitious creature. It says absolutely nothing about Greek mythology whatsoever, but rather it says that this is the name that is often applied to the rhinoceros. Wait a minute, what? The rhinoceros? You mean this is a unicorn? But the rhinoceros has 2 horns. How could this be a unicorn? Well, if you look up the word rhinoceros in the same dictionary, it says that rhinoceros is a genus of quadrupeds of 2 species, one of which, the unicorn has a single horn growing almost erect from the nose. This animal when full grown is said to be 12 feet in length. There's another species with two horns, the bicornis. They are natives of Asia and of Africa. According to Noah Webster, back in the early 1800s, it was understood that there were two species of the rhinoceros. The one-horned species was called unicorn, and then the two-horned species was called bicornis. So basically, you get a 200-year-old Noah Webster's dictionary, look up the word unicorn, it says rhinoceros, then look up the word rhinoceros, and it says unicorn. That was just 200 years ago. The Old King James was translated 400 years ago, in 1611. So if the definition of the word unicorn has changed in just the past 200 years from rhinoceros to horse, then it doesn't make much sense to take a modern definition of the word unicorn and apply it to a 400-year-old translation of the Bible.
Think about it.
That's illogical. As a matter of fact, even today, the scientific name of the Asian one-horned rhinoceros is Rhinoceros unicornis, and Dicerus bicornis is the scientific name of a two-horned rhinoceros. Well, where do you think those scientific names came from? I wonder. Well, they came from the Latin. Unicornis and bicornis are Latin words. Well, that's interesting, because in Psalm 92 verse 10, the psalmist is praying and says, "But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn." If you look up this verse in the Latin Bible, the word that's being used here is the word unicornis. Unicornis is the same Latin word that's being used in the scientific name of the Asian one-horned rhinoceros. In Job 39 verse 9, God is speaking to Job and says, "Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib?" If you look up this verse in the Latin Bible, the word that's being used here is the word rhinoceros. Rhinoceros is the Latin word that's being used in this scripture verse. Interesting. Rhinoceros unicornis. Rhinoceros unicornis. As a matter of fact, in these 9 scripture verses, there's actually 5 different Latin words that are being used. Rhinoceros, rhinocerotis, rhinocerota, unicornium, and unicornis. These 5 Latin words are what's being used when the Old King James Version of the Bible says unicorn.
So you get how the translations could, be very deceiving, and, just think, man. Just think for yourselves. I'm not here to convince you anything, but come on.
Can somebody help me understand why this isn't headline news? Like, why isn't this blasted all over everything that has a news channel or news anything? This is the senior Pentagon official who oversees the elementary school division being arrested for human trafficking.
Ancient American pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, right? Watch this. Take a look. Now, where is this at, right? Ancient America discovered the Sphinx of Memphis, USA, Tennessee. All right? Let's keep going. Quick reminder, remember I showed y'all this earlier, right? Whose structures are those that you built off the top of? I'm just really curious. If they lived in teepees, who was living in these buildings, huh? Those columns don't look like they're of Edom. We all know what Edom's columns look like. The Roman columns. We know what they look like, and those aren't your columns. So, whose buildings were those? As you can tell in the far right, all the way over there in the far right, they dug all of that up right there. They dug it up. Look at the door in the front right there. It's a door right there. Oh, was it steps there? No, it's more building and windows. So it was covered. Windows, a door, windows. It's covered. Looks like you built off the top of that structure. And I had to put this picture in here for some people who just don't understand what I'm talking about. It's covered. That's a whole entire building. It's covered. Who did they tell y'all built the White House? I'm sure they built the Capitals too. But whose building did you build off the top of? Somebody lying somewhere. These are columns of Edom. We definitely know what your columns look like. It's not hard to figure out. It's so much history that these people aren't talking about. They don't want to mention. And they say, you guys didn't contribute to society. Funny.
This is part 4 of Admiral Byrd's Journey Beyond the Ice. And as always, you can check the full video out on my Telegram. The link is in my bio. There is a reason why Admiral Byrd met a surprising and sudden end. Just another one revealing too much of the truth of what he saw.
We then proceed down a long hallway that is lit by rose-colored light that seems to be emanating from the very walls themselves. One of the beings motions for us to stop before a great door. Over the door is an inscription that I cannot read. The great door slides noiselessly open and I am beckoned to enter. One of my hosts speaks. Have no fear, Admiral. You are to have an audience with the Master. I step inside and my eyes adjust to the beautiful coloration that seems to be filling the room completely. Then I begin to see my surroundings. What greeted my eyes is the most beautiful sight of my entire existence. It is, in fact, too beautiful and wondrous to describe. It is exquisite and delicate. I do not think there exists a human term that can describe it in any detail with justice. My thoughts are interrupted in a cordial manner by a warm, rich voice of melodious quality. I bid you welcome to our domain, Admiral. I see a man with delicate features, and with the etching of years upon his face. He is seated at a long table. He motions me to sit down in one of the chairs. After I am seated, he places his fingertips together and smiles. He speaks softly again, and conveys the following. We have let you enter here because you are of noble character, and well known on the surface world. Surface world, I half gasp under my breath. Yes, the Master replies with a smile. You are in the domain of the Ariani, the inner world of the Earth. We shall not long delay your mission, and you will be safely escorted back to the surface and for a distance beyond. But now, Admiral, I shall tell you why you have been summoned here. Our interest rightly begins just after your race exploded the first atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. It was at that alarming time we sent our flying machines, the Flugerods, to your surface world to investigate what your race had done. That is, of course, past history now, my dear Admiral, but I must continue on. You see, we have never interfered before in your race's wars and barbarity, but now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for man, namely, that of atomic energy.
I got something for you at the end.
What a shock. When water is heated to 221, the water freezes, actually. Yes, this is a scientific experiment done by MIT. They first prepared an extremely expensive nanotube. Put water into the nanotube and keep heating. When the water temperature reaches 212, water vapor will gradually be produced. At this time, continue to heat the nanotubes to 221. The form of water gradually changes from water vapor to ice. What has actually happened? It turns out that when the temperature of the water continues to rise, because nanotubes have strong sealing properties, water molecules cannot move. There is no volatilization either. The energy inside it cannot be released. The phenomenon of reorganization of water molecules occurs. Eventually it formed ice. Of course, this ice is not ice as we know it. It's just a crystal. There is a big difference from ice formed below 32. What do you think about this?
Think about it.
When you realize that this movie is all about the rapture. Sixth stone. We are at the 6th day in creation.
Where'd he go? Steve?
Now the purebloods leave. What if this is how the rapture happens? I had another theory as well. Ready? the sinners are the ones raptured, and the elect go through the Great Tribulation. Hear me out. Wouldn't it make more sense that the elect stay to save?
Yo, that's crazy, right? Like, check this out though. So what I've been getting is, you know, through all we've been seeing, they've been telling us this whole time. And there was a war on this planet pretty much, and this is the last little piece of it. We're trying to conserve that. And it's crazy. Everything was hidden. All the technology, all of the weapons, you know, that's why we have technology that we know of that's the same as today, like tablets, cell phones, electric cars, all of this stuff. They're trying to bring it back like it's new. You know, we've been talking about this a while. So do you think it's in order to keep us from destroying the rest of this or not? And then also you can see with the water, right? You can heat up the water. I for one didn't know that about it until I started doing my research on water. Like what was it saying in the Bible when he created the firmament and everything? Like what's the possibilities? How can we, you know, I'm one of those thinkers. I'd really be trying to think of like, how is that possible and try to make sense of it, right? And the heating up of the water creates a crystal. Imagine that at a certain temperature, encasing a dome. It's not just like ice. Parts of it could be ice, but also crystal, like a super strong crystal. Still water, right? But think about it. These are just thoughts. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments down below. But also Thanos. See, the whole time the movie, everybody was thinking that Thanos was the bad guy. But the whole time, Thanos was just trying to create order and balance in the universe. Also, but they wanted to make him look like the bad guy. But he had to restore balance or things would get chaotic and, you know, we would fall as a whole. So, you know, it's just wild. Just like the Transformers. Like, you see how the movies, how they try to get us? Like the robots, they were trying to get their Allspark, but the whole time they were trying to keep their race intact and powerful and together, because that's what we would do. Just think about it. Just go back, look at these movies. It's crazy though. But look, man, it's crazy, just theories. But at the same time, you can see a lot of truth in these things, and it's just interesting to talk about, man. I can do this for days, man. We need to do like a live session. I'm working on that to get like a, you know, like a show. So we can all sit there like a big ass conference and we get to sit there and talk about these things, and you know, we can have people present stuff. I want to get into that. Why y'all feel about that? Smash that like button if y'all made it to this part of the video, and if y'all would like that, you know, we would fill up a stadium like 20,000 people, you know, over and over. Well, we got 200,000 people that watch these videos on a regular now each day, like per video. So you gotta think, we can fill up an arena and have a bunch of dope like-minded people that sit here and talk about whatever we want to talk about without getting into our feelings. That's the new vibe. We are the future. We're the present. We're everything. And together, we can do anything we want to. But like I always say, man, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. And I'm out, though. Live.